So it is suitable when you have, the owner do have enough of time to do this. They do want some certainties, and the designs are, you do have time for proper designs, and they can appoint separate designers and contractors. So this usually would match very well with, I would say, TGC design and build. Maybe you would probably go for the provisional or schedule rate or BQ kind of contract. And well, it's really about a game of matching one another. So whatever you learn from the procurement strategies, you may actually have different type of contracting strategies that actually match the procurement strategies here. Okay, and these are the kind of situation whereby you would use lump sum contract. Okay, and then for reimbursable contract, I would say that if the whole contract has unknown quantity, if the whole contract you're not sure, you have some design, some idea, some concept, but then the design is not fully detailed out, you can use what we call a remeasurement contract, which is under reimbursable, whereby they will have a BQ, and the BQ will have an estimated quantity. The rate will be fixed, but that will be over the entire project, okay? Preferably over the entire project, and usually done during like schematics time, conceptual development time, when you want to start to do the work during that time. So remeasurement is good. But if you really don't have much information and the design is as you go along, you build, I think reimbursement contract is good if you use cost plus contract. So cost plus contract is the client will pay for your cost of doing everything. Like you will send in your cost of your, labor, machineries, the actual cost, the invoices from the suppliers and all that. And the client will plus it with a fees or incentive or some form of percentage to reimburse for your work and for your management and for your technology, for your overall service that you provided them, you see. So it is a bit like a commission-based kind of thing. So cost plus are supposed to have really deliver a lot of project as well. It is a thing that depends on quite a fair bit of professionalism from the contractor, because when you have cost plus, they will send in, if I'm not being professional, I will send in different type of costs from the other parts of the company, trying to make you as a client pay for it, as then as I make the invoice look like it's from your project. Okay. And then plus then I get a fixed fee. And then of course, if my cost is a lot bigger, I plus fixed fee, incentive fees, that is not so bad. But if you have a percentage fee contract, that means if my cost end up to be 10 million, then I get a percentage 5% out of the 10 million compared to I save cost, for the client, and I get an 8 million plus a fixed fees, which is 5% on the 8 million. Which one do you prefer? I mean, generally, I think anybody with the right kind of logic, would actually go for a higher price, make the cost big. See, so at the end of the day, we do not like to use this. And in Malaysia, this sort of contract has been quite a lot of failures going on as well. So there's fixed fees, cost plus, we call it cost plus. And there's a special lecture notes which I'll post up as well. It's actually cost plus incentive. So this one again overlap into the next section whereby incentive-based kind of contract. See, so these contracting strategies are actually overlapping, like BQ schedule rate with remeasurement and cost plus incentive with, the incentive type of contract. So I hope you're not going to be confused or, upset over the fact that there's some overlapping, you see. And of course, some textbook will say this, some textbook will say that, but of course, you are here doing this particular course, then you follow whatever we're putting in the notes here. See, so anything that you have, the client has to pay for the cost, just the basic cost, the clean cost plus something is what we call cost plus, is a reimbursable contract. There was a few projects carried out in this manner. I think it was like UITM, something, or Mara or something like that, one of those projects, in West Malaysia. And I think the client, you have contractors who just consistently putting up all the costs and consistently, trying to delay the project because they will say that the design is not complete. But unfortunately, when the design is there, they will still drag the time when they have no place to go. There's no way, they know there's no job to go. It fits their company, it fits their fits the time of downtime. So they're not moving away from the project. So they're not in the urgent time to move away from the project. So I think like this cost plus contract with this cost plus incentive, I'll talk about that in the incentive based contract. Then whereby you say cost plus fixed percentage fees or cost plus fixed fees, cost plus award fee contract. So this one here, they are all going to, is either you have a percentage of the cost or you give a specific fixed fee like 500,000, 1 million, and that kind of thing. Cost plus incentive is when you have cost plus and you give some savings and then they will give you a percentage higher sort of thing. So these are all reimbursable contract. Okay. So for incentive-based contract, okay, the most normal, like I said, you also need to know the advantages and disadvantages of this fixed fees contract, cost plus contract, cost plus something. So yeah, those are reimbursable together with remeasurement contract, and together these are actually very good for contract that are the designs are not so ready. You need a fast track contract whereby you can embark onto the contract as soon as possible and get the things start to be building constructing as soon as possible, or your factory or oil and gas, you need to get things going as soon as possible. This will always be a very good choice to go for. But again, it has its disadvantage. It's very highly dependent on the professionalism of the builder and service provider or the contractor that is doing the job for you, you see. So depending on their level of work at that moment, depending on their cost at the moment, there's a lot of room for hanky-panky if you're not careful with cost plus contract. Again, it's a good idea. It is some sort like a changes over, it is like a improvement, modification from the traditional mode of contracting, but it needs to be treated very carefully, especially with remeasurement, with cost plus sort of things. Yeah. So again, I hope that you all can explore this a little bit better, read through the notes and explore it through. And again, it depends on what type of procurement strategy that you're looking for. If you're going to go for design and build contracting plus cost plus, I think it may be a big room for disaster. It's a turnkey and cost plus. It's really a big room for disaster unless you really have tons of money, like the Saudi Arabian king or something like that. You just want to throw away money. Otherwise, this sort of combination would be really, really disastrous. But if you go for like concessional with cost plus, does it work? Concessional, maybe it works because why? The contractor will be the one that is paying for everything. So they will want to be making sure that the cost is actually low, you see. So again, there are different kind of matching systems here that we are looking at, and it's like what best match with what, okay? And I think I will stop here for this bit of the second part of the contract type. I'll move on to incentive-based contract.